What's up guys, Cliff from the Sunday Drive and TSD Motorsports. In today's video, we're going to be showing you how to do an oil change on your S58 powered vehicle. So welcome back to the channel guys. We are again working on Mr. Squeeze's G87 M2, and today we're going to be showing you guys how to do the oil change. We are prepping this for a track day at NJMP, so we want to make sure he has some nice fresh oil in there. Make sure to go check out his vlog of this whole build process as well, and we're going to have lots of DIYs, including this one, up on the channel coming out for the next several weeks. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we have a lot more planned for this car in the future as well. So really excited for that, but let's get into the oil change. Now you may notice that we are running a heavier than factory weight 5W40. That's because we are modifying this engine up to about 750 wheel horsepower, and it's going to be getting pushed pretty hard at the track, and a heavier weight oil does provide a little bit additional protection. However, if you are a stock BMW or you're not really sure what to use, we always recommend going with the factory recommended weight when in doubt, or talk to your local shop. Feel free to reach out to us as well. We are independent Amsoil dealers. We do feel that this is one of the best available oils on the market for your vehicle. It is what we personally run in all of our vehicles, as well as our shop cars. And we will have this linked down in the description. Going through our links really does help us out. But we're not just pushing it to make a sale. We really do believe in this stuff and think it's good quality. And we are using the OEM Hengst oil filter, which we also will have linked down in the description. So let's get into it. Removing your engine cover is not necessary, but we like to keep things clean, so we've already popped that off. It's held in by 4 grommets. One's connected here, there, over there, and up front here. Get your cover popped off, and you'll have plenty of access to your oil fill cap, which I always like to pop proactively so there isn't back pressure in the system and the air can escape somewhere. Now, on B58 and S58s, the oil filter is in a little bit of a pain. It's back down here behind the intake manifold. It is definitely a lot easier on the N55, S55, N20 engines, but it is tucked away because the vehicle engine in this is actually flipped around. Your timing chain and everything is at the back, and they move the oil filter to the back as well. So there are 2 E6 torque sets that need to come out right here. So we're going to go ahead and remove those. And that is loose. And then for this harness right here, you can just push this towards the driver's side and then lift up on the whole assembly and push that out of the way. Now you're going to need a 32mm socket. Gear Wrench makes a nice 6-piece oil filter housing socket set, so we'll have that link down in the description. And with both of these loose, you're going to have access to your filter. It's going to be really hard to get on camera, but once we pull the housing out, we'll show you what it looks like. It's going to be right down in here. You kind of put your hand down there, make sure you're fully on the housing. It is plastic. You're going to want to have a rag here ready just to capture any oil that wants to drip. Have our new filter, O-ring and crush washer for the drain plug. Gonna pop out the old O-ring right there and pull the filter housing out. Okay, pop this guy in. The nipple goes towards the bottom. Get that nice click. And now we put the new O-ring in. Make sure you put some oil on here, not so much for installing it on the cap, but when you tighten it down into the housing, you want to make sure it doesn't bind up and get damaged in any way. You always want to lubricate your new gaskets and seals. All right. Just going to pull a little bit of the old oil off of here and rub that on there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this back in, and you'll notice right there it says Hengst. So again, this is the OE filter, and it says 25 plus 5 Newton meters. So stick this back down. It will only go in one way because of that nipple. So I'm going to take this until where the cap bottoms out on the housing, which is right there, and I'm going to grab my torque wrench and finish it up. And while it may seem silly to use a torque wrench for this, this is a plastic housing. It is very possible to crack it. So I'd rather make sure that we're torquing it to spec, we're not too loose, and definitely not over tightening it. Now that we have our oil filter change done, you can go and just feel the cap, make sure it feels fully seated, just in case, anything happens. It's always good just to double check yourself. And then pop your wiring harness right back in place right there. And then we can put the two E6 external torques back into our reservoir. You are going into plastic, so don't over tighten these. So before we drain the oil, I do want to point out the oil cooler right up here. As you can see, it's extremely exposed. It's at a very low point of the car. If anything hits this, you are going to potentially lose your engine unless you shut the car off immediately. So definitely recommend upgrading to a metal skid plate. We are going to do a skid plate on this car in a following video, so make sure to check that out, the link above. Don't leave this unprotected. It's a cheap upgrade in comparison to potentially losing the entire engine. So we actually have a car at the shop right now where that exact scenario happened to. The oil cooler got hit, the car was left running for too long, and the engine is a loss. Now we are turning that from lemons into lemonade and doing a 1200 horsepower KLM stage 2 build and ATS transmission build. So he's gonna have a lot more power at the end of the day, but still that's not really the way you wanna go about doing it. So make sure you get a oil cooler guard or skid plate at the front of your G8X vehicle, whether it's the M2, 3, or 4. Belt back here is where we need to drain the oil. It has this little plastic cover that you're gonna put your two fingers in and twist counterclockwise to remove. And then we have our 17mm drain plug for the engine oil right there. So break that free. It should not be very tight at all. And then get your drain pan of choice. Install your new crush washer. Always recommended to replace the crush washer if you're in a pinch and have to reuse yours. Install it in the same orientation that it came out so that you make sure you get a proper seal. And in that case, I would recommend preheating it with a torch to make sure it's a little bit malleable and will seal properly. We're down to a slow drip, so we're gonna get the bolt reinstalled. And since we are going into an aluminum pan, we're gonna make sure that we torque this down to spec. Very easy to strip these out. We get so many cars in the shop that have been stripped out by other shops. And then we have to either replace the pan or do a helicoil. Reinstall the cover plate. Now we're ready to fill it up. We'll have the capacity down in the description for you guys. I always like to cut a little hole in the back of my jugs, if I'm using the entire jug at least, to let the fluid flow out a little bit more smoothly and more quickly. The last step is to reset your oil life tracker inside the cabin, but we have the DME out and the battery unplugged, so we're gonna have a description of how to do that down in the description of this video, and we'll link to a video that shows how to reset that for you. But that's how you change the oil and filter on your S58 powered G8X vehicle, whether it's the M2, 3, or 4. We hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, links to the parts and tools are down in the description, and the Amsoil fluid, as I mentioned. And be sure to go check out the Mr. Squeeze vlog of this car and the whole build process. We are building up to NJMP. We have a ton of videos coming out on this car, both right now and in the future. So we look forward to keeping you around for those. Hit that subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.